QXO. Could have put me in a different tax bracket. Sold it at 24, 25. Look at this thing. There's my sales. Oh my God, what a bad sale. Look at this. It's going a lot higher. It's going to double. It's going a lot higher. Horrible trade. Horrible execution with not holding a winner. Horrible. What did work is the guy still poured in $20 million worth of calls. Listen, a lot of things happen throughout. Am I on here? Yeah. Okay. A lot of things happen throughout the day. Okay. You have to know your own style. I'm not. Don't think I'm loaded up with $1 million worth of Exxon calls. I'm not. I'm happy it worked for everybody participating. The stock in a trend, volume, calls. The same with ADM that worked yesterday. All right. The same with EWZ. So some of them don't work. All right. So the guy went in and bought some Ethereum, didn't work. All right. Not everything works. The whole point is to get some edge here. We're saying TGH. They're choosing. Well, I'll take myself off now. And for those new people, I'm sorry. I get into a groove, and I apologize. Right, my mind works very quickly. If I in the corner of my eye, if I see a quote like Coke, it's not just I don't see K, 2 letters KO and a couple of numbers. I see Coke, and then I see a whole subset of things like the Matrix. I see consumer staples as Pepsi up with McDonald's distribution. I think the whole thing. So if I go off on tangents, remember, just like this whole experience, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Thank you, for everybody tuning in. Okay, here. What's happening then? There are a lot of these PCG calls still. All right. This PCG, there's the weekly. All right, so Schlumberger needs rest. All right, this is a nice move. They are a little bit exhausted at the moment. It needs a little bit of rest. If you look at the bigger picture, maybe this is a bigger picture type of market. I don't think that it's not very. It's really not that good for swing trading, as evidenced by my exit yesterday in a stock like what happened here in Peggy. I sold at 15.5 yesterday at this run up. Now it's 13. Hugo, you thank me for trades in now. Hasn't made a new low yet. Hood. Some stocks work. ON Semiconductor is still high. Apple's 3% from the high. Fact. Zillow. Margin calls. Some of them, I wouldn't buy these type of things. Yes, I know, Lewis. I talked out of buying you at the bottom. Nice trade, by the way. Stock opened at 21. You look down, it was 19. And the margin, this is obviously this is margin. Trust me. What time did it bottom proverbially? What time is this? 10:20. Margin calls usually stop at 10:30. Gilead was down 3. Now it's up 10. There's the low print on Gilead today. Yes, that's true. That's not even pre-market. 147. You turned around, it's 157. Gilead. Shopify did the exact opposite. The open was the high print, and it had an 18-point print lower without even a tick. And barely even an uptick. Barely even an uptick. Shopify opens at 140. Okay, let's say 139. I'm rounding up for mathematical purposes, if you will. Actually, that's not mathematical purposes. I would be exact, just for point. 139. By the time the opposite of the margin calls happened in you, this is 113. Run. I looked at this thing. Look at this move. This was positive today. 21.17. Within a half an hour, it's 18.17. That's $3. Range, price action. What does it mean? I'm not quite sure yet. Earnings tonight as I bop around. I already posted them. What's up, guys? Sherry, good, nice sale on you, by the way. And by the way, SOLS. I don't want, you know what? All right, let's talk about this stock. Okay. It's not overbought. Obviously, the RSI, as you can see here, is 75. This is the price action. It ripped up and stayed there. You like that's positive, by the way. Does the proverbial real trader, like I always say, take this? You should. Why am I hypocritical? If it was a gold stock, would I take it? Yeah. If it was the TLT, would I take it? Yeah. Let's, I don't know. Sometimes you have maybe it's a gut feeling for me. I don't know. It's under-owned. I know that. Anyway, nice trade. Another one. Let's look. This QXO, you know what this QXO does? It's a transport stock. So what had earnings today? Ryder, which has been a transport. They have the trucks, the yellow trucks. Ryder. They're the opposite of a Shopify. Now, like I said, Hugo asked me before, I have scanners. They're not that complicated. You basically see everything I have is what I show on my screens, except one screen, small screen, is a scanner of trade ideas. If you want, ask. Ask whatever type of room you want. If this room isn't for you, ask. I'd be more than happy to put, and I'm saying this in sincerity. I just want everybody to have a long career, as hard as it is. It's hard enough as it is. Whatever you need, ask me. If you don't hear from me again, bravo. As long as you do better without us. All right. Another one. 204. You turned around. It's 230. These are real. By the way, this isn't pre-market. These are pre-open trades. So you look at R. Everybody should know what else goes with R. What goes with R? XPO. There's the open on XPO. Did the same thing as Ryder. They both ripped. All right, moving on. Wolf. All right, again. And by the way, this VAL. I want to talk about a stock. Okay. To any student, Trader Stewie, all these other tweeter people I follow, this is a power earnings gap. Very simple. A little bit like a Wolfer, not as strong. That's all. New high. And by the way, that was helped by GEV, VRT. That's why they're up. VRT, that was a good one. FRMI. Okay. Please go to yesterday's power hour. And by the way, I was selling this nicely. Right here. It should have been up more than it was, but you know what? I thought the juice was kind of out of the punch bowl with the proverbial 5-day up and coming to the weekly 50-day. So, if it was down, if it was a different chart or different night, maybe it would have had more. But bottom line is, on ideas. Yeah, you're welcome, Sherry. You know what I wanted to buy as well? It's in that group. They all worked. LYB is in a night. Our boy stage breakout and LYB is in a nice stage too. This is a healthy stage too on LYB, and this stock, by the way, has it in it. And you know what else? I looked at this OI had earnings, and I was bidding for it this morning. OI Glass, it's a thank you on that FRMI. No, hold on. I want the video again. Sorry. No, everybody congrats on the FRMI. It's not my system. Thank you, Shir. First of all, thank you. I'm not trying to sell a different real estate program. I'm not even trying to sell anything. We don't even, so with that being said is, when you sit down for a meal with the majority of countries, except maybe some of my relatives in some fourth world countries, God forbid, you sit down with a fork, a spoon, a knife, a plate, and a glass. Trust me, I've been doing this 30 years. I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to impress to you that it's options. The fork, the spoon is volume. the knife, trend, the plate, whatever it may be, price action. Aside from that, God, build your own plan. Trust me, that's the core. Okay, let's get going here. It's not to stop pontificating. I'm only saying that because there's always another trade, and I have a lot of there you go. Pointed out yesterday. Let's get back to business. All right, Schwab lows. Okay, Jane Norm, phenomenal stock pickup. Pointed that out yesterday. Something's up with Schwab, he says. Okay, no problem. So today they rallied a little up to the 50-day. And basically, once it broke yesterday's low, I mean, I'm sure if you wanted to trade something like this, it could have been a sexier entry. But yet again, Schwab, break yesterday's low, new low, boom. You're not making $8 in it, but we're here to make money. Take money out of the market. The GXO, I having the fun, thank God. But I'm going to tell you something. What bothers me the most today is he bought PL to 50. What bought me the most today is the sale, how we didn't hold that GX. Horrible sale. Just really, really poor. PL, you bought it to what? The 50-day? Yeah, 50 days, Sherry. 50 days, everything. Beautiful. Bravo. Now you work the trade. It's got declining moving averages. I don't want to listen, I've done worse. Bravo. Great entry point. Hell of a plan. DuPont. Even Kramer said sell Del Chemical last week. Clorox. Jane Norm at 101 said it had $5 in it. I agreed upon it. I was giddy selling it at the 110 strike price. Giddy. It's hard, man. A-Land. A-Land, look at the range in this header. This pulled also a CRDO in the semi space, if you will. A-Land. I sold this 152, I think, today. I was buying it at 144, sold at 149. You see. Yeah. Anyway, earnings. Let's go to it's not over. After the close, APP. I think a $62 move is expected in APP. 10%, maybe 15% move in APP. One thing I'm going to say, you don't want to be wrong. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry. But you know what? That was my first curse all week. But I'm talking about APP. Come on. Cisco earnings after the close. I don't know. I think how Cisco acts after maybe the first half an hour tomorrow will dictate a lot if these MUs are dead cat bound. Oh, look at this. Incredible. That fooled me. You know what I said on yet? Do you know what I said? I said on yesterday's webinar, webcast, whatever you want to call it. This is exactly what I said. I said, see this MU? Except that there's something major, I almost said binary catalyst happens into the next week. This is not going up. That came out of my mouth. I want to talk about power hour. I said that, and I was dead wrong. Dead wrong. That surprised me, that chart. That surprised me. Cisco. McDonald's after the close. Too obvious. Not doing it. Too obvious. AAP. You there, Juice? You there? Hold on. See this AAP? What is this thing up? See this? Up $2.90. Okay, we know retailers been doing good. Me and Sherry have been making fun of Five Below. All right, so retailers are in the good, these type of retailers. So what happened? Now listen, I don't post every call. Sometimes things are hedges, sometimes they buy puts, they're hedges. They do ODTs, they do weeklies that don't make sense, or trust me, it's my job to There you go. AAP Auto Parts. Right there. Lewis, yesterday, 233. That was, see that? Yesterday. Let's blow that up. Because Lewis knows what he's doing. AAP. Yesterday, literally 25 hours ago. Great graphic. AAP. Hey, you know what? That was a great graphic, Lewis. And we gave it to you when? At 2:30 yesterday? Calls were coming in. Where's 2:30 yesterday? Right here. 2:30. Stock was 56. Now it's 59 on its way to 60. Calls. Range, price action, trend, a little bit of volume. You can't have it all. ALB. This ALB. Lewis knows this ALB. What a winner. This is the lithium Google. Hubs have no interest. QS, the battery sector. QS is better for, you know what? See this QS? Not even worth even thinking. Not even 1% of my being wants to take this. So this will make money in this tomorrow trading. We will make money in this tomorrow trading. This might work. They are. You want to have a little bit of a lotto? I'm going to write that down. Advanced statement. Don't buy my pain. AR, I'm not in. Sexy stock. AR. Let PCG as earnings. Take that off the list. Fastly, CRK. I took the good loss there. Took the good loss there. I took the loss. CRK, AR, CPA, MFC, OM. Tomorrow morning. How you doing? NBIS. Holding up very well. You know, this is in the APLD camp, above the moving averages. It's in the Wolf camp, NBIS. So far, until it's proven otherwise. What else? Crocs as earnings. Look at Crocs. I never owned a pair. I'm a Birkenstock person. Zebra. ZTS. Birkenstock as earnings tomorrow. Speaking of Birkenstocks, you know what? Might hedge my Birkenstocks here. They're expensive, these freaking things. I get Birkenstocks like 200 a shot now. I might try it. It's like when you have a child, you try to pick Kimberly Clark and hedge against the diapers. You know, I buy a lot of these shoes. And I give them as presents. Burke, next. QSR restaurant. QSR restaurant. This is a favorite of people. This is probably going to work, QSR. Paper trading, QSR long as a restaurant. All right, enough of those restaurant stocks. Let's go to the main page. The QSR could work. SanDisk at the high. All right, I give you an example. Here's one of my screens. I have 4 of them. Okay, right here, Trade Exchange News. There's option flow. There's Twitter, and right here is a generic scanner. Right here, percent gainers, time frame. Let's go today. I only want stocks that are trading at least over 1 million shares. So it should be 2 million at least, but let's say 1 million. And there's my basic scanner. There's the volume. There's the 30-day volume. Obviously, this QVC, GGB, GGB should be taken seriously because it normally does 60,000 with 21 million. I'm being facetious. What is something I'm interested in? AHR interested in. For example, 4 times volume, up 25%, big range, near the high election. You know what I mean. SGML, lithium, Wolf. SGML lithium. Maybe that's a precursor to ALB. VNet, China. Pardon me, on the list. ACMR. Oh, no problem. Are we going to take this one? This whatever when I see ACMR, you know what I see? SOLS. So why would I take one and not the other? They don't do the same thing, but they're freaking ripping. You get my picture, everyone? It's difficult. So, what are you going to do? Casing the Sunshine Band, China Cloud, China, Rig, GXO, SW, CC going with the chemical sector, continuing the powerful run. Casing the Sherry, you still have Clorox. Maybe you should be trading on. Nice. I know this AM. I know AM. Yeah. Like I said, how could you not? Yeah, I know it. This used to be American Greetings, AM. Yeah, why not? I'm going to tell you, it's the ultimate compliment with an RSI still not overbought at 80, and it's been higher. I wouldn't short it for a person that's kind of, that does things that a little bit, you know what I mean. All right, let's go to a couple of Twitter. We'll see what they're doing on Twitter, and then we'll move on. Nice, Sherry, with the Clorox, by the way. Bravo. All right, Adam Mancini, besides Coach Dale Pinkert, one of the better futures traders. What's his opinion? A lot of swings up exactly where we were 24 hours ago. That's good. That's bullish, by the way. When you have these software stocks and you have Microsoft where it is, hold on, bullish. It's bullish for stock picking. That's my point. All right. I'm not saying it's bullish for swing trading, for buying. I'm not saying, where we were yesterday, 24 hours ago, it's bullish for stock picking. As Exxon maybe to get some rest. Maybe the software does bounce again tomorrow as everybody's starting to think that it's really not having, who knows? But that's a good plan. By the way, Mike Siccardi, one of the best out there, not because he's Italian. And he happens to be from Florida, and I lived in Florida many years. Smart, all right? APP report tonight. IGV, all right? Now, stocks like, and Hugo knows this, stocks like ServiceNow are still not breaking new lows. I don't know if I dip my toe in here, but stocks like Oracle seem to have been well off the bottom still. Well, not well off the bottom. So I'm thinking that maybe tomorrow you get, who knows? But there's the software index. Okay, not making new lows yet. Who knows? Or if you want to do it, want to make easy money or easier money, this is the 52-week high list. So tomorrow you look at them all and you put in all buy stops. Tomorrow, if they take out another new 52-week high, some of them might reverse or whatever. You get the picture, but this is the list. All right, so it's not NVIDIA. It's not Google anymore. Okay, I'm okay with all these stocks I grew up with anyway. Exxon, Delta, Caterpillar, Lowe's, Shark Ninja. Ugh. You get it. I got to agree with the professor, net. And that means, maybe, like I said, with the futures being basically where they are in 24 hours, Planeteer, although I'm bearish on it. This is absorption until something else. He's right. Hood, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? All right, gaps need to be filled. It's good for stock picking. Where's the VIX? The VIX. That's not what you wanted to see. I wanted to see, well, I said this morning, I wanted to actually see the VIX touch the 50-day. But when like the professor says, Planeteer is not going anywhere, when the VIX pulls back like this, basically near 3-day lows or near those lows until it pops again, they're not. They got to just get stale. You know what I mean? South Korea, Peru, and Brazil, EWZ. I mean, we could have been laughing with the CXO. I could have been with this EWZ as every other software. I think I'm going to take QSR. I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to do it. I'm looking up all the shoes now. I'm looking through the shoe sector to edify my perk take. Not that it would make a difference. All right, I'll move on. Any other questions? And guys, listen, it's for, I'm off the video again. I'm sorry. I got to take it off so you can see the charts. Ask, please. I don't want to waste time. Sometimes I waste time, going off on tangents, but if something's not making sense or it looks around, we'll move on. Okay, let's go to the main screen. Remember as earnings again. QSR, you can't talk me out of this. You can't talk me out of it. And I think, and listen, I'm not going to load up and walk away and say, something ain't the canary, but I will have support there. I do believe if the way these restaurants are going. KHC. Okay, look at this. This will tell you something right now. KHC this morning, ketchup, Kraft Heinz right there, was in the hole at 23.50, broke all the moving averages, looked like it could have pulled a Peggy. But yet again, they said deep this morning, I'd rather buy ketchup down here than buy a space stock, or I'd rather buy Microsoft. They said I'd rather buy toilet paper instead of space. Good, Hugo. Yeah, listen, it takes a long time. All right, like I saying to Hugo as he's new to the room and communicating on YouTube, I don't have the best process. I just know what I do better for what I do well. All right, a leadoff hitter in baseball, the guy wants to get on singles, to get on base, to get on second, and get driven in. All right, so you know your style. There's nothing wrong with it. It's you against you. It's you against the whole point of this whole thing is for you to know about stock picking and know where to go, and not only that, have a plan and why. It eventually, when I open the door to my office and I see the screens and everything, sometimes I feel I'm not going to say that. It's an egregious statement. It's not like I'm not like, oh, what am I going to do? I look myself in the mirror. You know what I mean? Things happen, I get it, but net over time, it's a huge sample size that you'll be shocked how your trading DNA is consistent. Next, let's go. Main screen. HPK. Now, there's X. Why do I have HPK? I'm going to tell you why, Hugo. For somebody that is doing the right things, all of you guys do. Majority know what to do because you're pure. I know who's in the room. Well done with Rake. Well done with Schlumberger that needs rest and should be bought on dips. Trust me, they're going after that one. Another thin one, HP, driller. HPK. All right, I know this thing. Now, as the bigger ones have a little bit of rest, I see that these mean reversions, even in the sector, they'll catch up. HPK, let's give this for example. Do I like MIA? Sherry, I listen to your suggestions, MIAX. MIAX? Miami Holdings? I'm not buying anything with the name Miami, period. Period. Never trust a company in Miami, ever. There are a couple of things I learned. I'm from Long Island, New York. Never trust a company from Long Island, and never trust a company from Miami. So MIAMI, good luck. I hope it pulls the souls. And knowing you, it probably will. You know what I'm saying, Jerry? What was my point? Oh, HPK. HPK. 28% of the float is short. Okay. Couple of things, especially to the new ones. I mean, this room is advanced, not just me. Never, and trust me, please, buy a stock because of a short squeeze. It's better for the best of breed. But yes, Hun. Yes, I do like Hun. The only problem with Hun, by the way, HBK, I'm in it. All right, it is what it is. All right, it's got a lot of catching up to do. It did break over the moving averages. There's the volume over the 50-day. Curling the moving averages up to 10, 21, and 50-day. There's the volume. Here's the weekly. Broke the weekly. So listen, it's not like I'm not exactly running with scissors. You know what I mean? It makes some sort of sense. The only problem with Hun, Miss Sherry, is this, and you can answer your own question, or you can get the picture of what I'm going to answer, what I'm going to back up with. I haven't seen the calls back up yet. I haven't seen like Exxon, which is rare. Oh my God, Exxon type of calls come in HUN. I'll tell you what they are in LYB, but they're not backing Hun. No, LYB is a different story. Well, not really. They haven't backed up Hun yet, Sherry, and I'll let you know. I didn't see this up, Coles. What's up with this Coles today? You know what I see Coles now. Let me talk out loud. Here's my generic scanner. I see Coles right here, KSS. By the way, which right is below CC, the other chemical stock, which also happens to go with HUN and LYB. Shows you again that sector's strong. I digress. Here's Coles. Now I go, I see Coles is up $1.46, but then I see volume. 10-day volume is normally 3 million. The 30-day volume, the 30-day volume is normally 3.4 million. I want to see Coles. Coles has a better chance of being up working when it's up 18% on 3 times volume than just nothing. Here, Exxon again. Look at this guy. Look at this genius. Look at this genius, more Exxons. What a genius. A genius. CTRA. That's correct, Gino. That one I didn't take, and I regret it. I knew when I saw it, it was going to work. Nice job. I knew when I saw those calls going off right here. Clean. Nice job. I'm glad you took it. XOP. I know. OKOP. At the WMB yesterday, WMB had earnings, was up $3, pulled back for a reversal. See that? Look at that now. This would have been you know what? The old Mike V might have taken this. Not old Mike V. I know, what am I talking about? I never would have taken it. If they wanted to hurt these stocks, now WMB is going higher. What is it? FKOP? Hoppers. Yeah, I get it. Now, when I see coppers, I see this. I want to know how much volume it has. 85,000 shares. What am I going to do with this thing? Gino, you want me to get you out of it? I'll buy 5,000. If I buy 5,000 coppers at the market, I'll drive this thing up to 85. What was I buying? QSR. I'm doing it. Buy 800. SOLS. Oracle, decent bounce off the low. ServiceNow, nothing. Team, nothing. Cisco right there at the earnings. GLW, more all-time highs. GLW making all-time highs into Cisco's face. Was it HBK? Let's freaking run this thing up. You guys in it? Better buy more before I do. Anyway, I'm chasing this thing up. But you know what? BLD. NVIDIA hanging in there, by the way. Listen, this thing. You want to talk? This NVIDIA, when no one's looking, NVIDIA feels like it can pull like an apple. It feels like NVIDIA can pull an apple. Why isn't this going down? You're short NVIDIA, you're in trouble. Am I right, guys? Come on. Overlay everything you want over moving averages. The Qs, the NASDAQ, any other A star, anything that you can compare to NVIDIA. Sans Apple. You know, watch that. You know what? You want to buy NVIDIA? Watch this. Watch that NVDL. What am I seeing? CMG? CMG. See, this is bad. This doesn't make me feel good about the QSR restaurant stock anymore. This should have popped after the earnings and held the gap. I'll move on. I'll let you go, guys. You're all good? Listen, if you don't know how to get into the room, ask. This is the room. Right here. All right, I'm in it. I'll be trading them all. I'll be trading NBIS. I'll be trading Kraft this on. I don't care if it's freaking catch-up. I'll be trading catch-up's the stock that what's moving. I'll be in catch-up. Thank you. All right, you good, everyone? Cheers. Thank you for being in the room. Always ask, please. I'll do better tomorrow. I'm humbled, and I really appreciate the professionalism. Listen, it took me a long time to even get to even think like this. Forget about act like it. All right. You know, we do well here. You know, it's like a medical school. I'll be honest with you. I respect brain surgeons more than anybody out there. The guys, you know, we sometimes make more than a doctor. Okay, it takes a long time. All right, it takes the work. Cheers. Good guys. Cheers. All right. It's always another trade.